Call tonight's council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Council members Anderson, Benninga,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Costello,
Here.
Jamison,
Here.
Knutson,
Here.
Litz,
Here.
Staggers.
Present.
We have a quorum present for tonight's meeting. Tonight we'll be led in invocation by Dr. Ron Tottingham from Empire Baptist Church here in Sioux Falls. After the invocation, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. So at this time, I ask everyone to please rise.
Heavenly Father, thank you tonight for the privilege to be able to be here. Thank you for our city. Thank you for those that are willing to take time out of their extra time to be able to be here to advocate for issues. And I pray that you would bless the city leaders, that you would give them an unction of grace and all the things they have to do, Father, that you give them balance and sensitivity to the best city in the world. And I pray your blessings would be on this city. And I ask this in Jesus' name.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Let's second it. Further comments, further motions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Council members Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present have voted. The consent agenda has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved, Brown.
Brown moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Costello, seconded. Is there any further motions?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to move that we take item 32, the regular agenda, and move it before 12.
Okay, that's your motion. Is there a second to that motion? Did you second, Pat? Okay, Costello seconded that motion. The motion is to take item number 32 and move it above 12. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Council members Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present have voted. The regular agenda has been approved as amended, 7 yes, 1 excused. Now is the time that we set aside a period of 5 minutes for anyone that wishes to address the council. We just ask that you give your name and address if you do so. So anyone wishing to address the council at public input for a period of 5 minutes, please come forward at this time. Seeing no one that is coming forward, we will move into the regular agenda, and that will start with item 32.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2008-1001 to Chapter 1545-070, Planned Development Districts at West 16th Street and 17th Street from Grange Avenue to West Avenue, allowing changes in land use as reflected in the revised sub-area regulations and rezoning property at West 16th and 17th Street from Grange Avenue to West Avenue from the O General Office, RD, and RS2 residential districts to the Sanford USD Medical Center Planned Development Districts as amended and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Mike Cooper, Planning and Building Services. This item has received quite a bit of attention within the last few days by some of the neighbors within this particular area. Just as background, this is a rezoning petition by Sanford Medical to expand their campus north of 17th Street. It's about 8.25 acres. And we were informed today that in discussions with a representative of Sanford Medical that the rezoning signs that are required to be posted 7 days prior to this hearing were not put up in compliance with our ordinance. And so based on that information, tonight staff is requesting that this be deferred for 2 weeks to the December 15th council meeting. And along with that, we have received some inquiries from residential properties in this area, and staff will be attempting to talk to those people to give them a little more explanation as far as what's going on with this rezoning proposal. But tonight, we would like to request that this be deferred to December 15th.
I have a question, Mike, or Mr. Cooper. This is a copy of the sign that they did post about a week and a half ago. It came to me about 15 minutes ago. And the date on it says the date of posting would be October 29th, and this year says held on November 5th, 08, which I assume would be the planning meeting that was prior to this. If they're putting this sign up for the planning meeting in place of the one that should have been up for the city council meeting, because I know you're given two sets of placards, I think maybe they got their placards mixed up, the two sets of placards mixed up. And if that is the case, I guess my question would be, would the decision that the planning council made on this here, would it have to go back to that? Is that proper procedure or not?
No, the representative that I talked to today said that the signs were not posted until today,
I see. Very good.
but they
Thank you.
were posted for the planning commission properly.
Thank you.
So they just put those up and left them up and forgot about them and didn't put the right
Right?
ones up.
Yep.
That's not exactly true, because I live right by there, Mike, and these came up right after they tore the houses down, and that was after November 5th, so I guess I really don't know. I'm a little confused about what's going on. I don't know where these signs came from.
Yeah, we don't go out and check those. We require the petitioners to sign an affidavit saying that they did post them. And the only other way that we have to check that is if there's a neighbor or somebody else that says that they weren't properly posted. And so we received a inquiry that they weren't posted, and so we did check with the applicant today, and they did say they were not properly posted.
Very good. Thank you.
Dean?
Mike, I realize that that you are requesting a deferment for 2 weeks, and I have no problems with that. But I just thought, because of some other information that's out there, I was just wondering if I just wanted to run one question past you. Is that a lady who lives in that area called me today, and she indicated actually that she plans to sell her land to the Sanford people, but she still has some concerns about the entire issue and the entire process, and she wanted to know if, in fact, with like Sanford buying a house here and then buying a house here or there, that Sanford would have the right to just put eminent domain in place and just take the whole block. And I said, I don't think so. I've never ever heard of that discussion before, and I was just wondering if you could set that topic to rest for those who are here listening or watching on Channel 16.
No, they do not have the power of eminent domain. We have been working with both hospital campuses since the 1970s on expansion, and we know that this is a very sensitive issue with any neighborhood when the hospital campuses start to expand in any direction. So we've had many, many neighborhood meetings over the years, and we'll certainly try to do whatever we can to address as many questions as we can with people. But the hospital does not have eminent domain. I think there was another discussion going around the neighborhood that a rezoning would automatically trigger an increase in property taxes, which is not the case at all. But we'll try to respond to these in more detail by the 15th with the neighbors.
I would like Councilor Knutson to know that about 15 minutes ago I had a conversation with that particular person and told them the same thing.
Mike, my only concern, and I obviously voted to move this agenda item up, but I know there are some people that were planning on, one person in particular wasn't getting off till work till a little bit later, but thought she could make it in time to be here when it was item 32. So if you've got anybody in the staff that can look for people that might be looking for the items, so they don't have to wait around.
Okay, and we've tried to, I think we talked to at least 3 or 4 of the property owners today to let them know it was going to be deferred.
Okay.
Or at least there would be a request to defer it.
Further comments of Mike, or is there a motion to defer until December 15th for item 32?
I so move, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Letson.
Litz seconded. Further comments on the motion to defer until December 15th for item 32? Seeing none, all in favor of that deferral will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 32 has been deferred until December 15th. 7 yes, 1 excuse. So now we're back to item number 12.
Deferred action, revocation, conditional use permit, 2006-1223, allowing motor vehicle display and sales in the I-1 Light Industrial District. The Planning Commission recommended approval on February 7th, 2007.
This item pertains to property on North Cliff and Mulberry, which is currently being operated as Scarborough Auto Sales. And based on inspection of the property, they're currently in violation of their conditional use permit. We did take this to the Planning Commission with a recommendation by the Planning Commission for revocation of the conditional use. And we did indicate to the council that we would like to meet with the applicant, and it had asked for a deferral to tonight. The planning staff did talk to the owner of this business, Steve Scarborough, and he is very interested and willing to work with us on developing a plan that will bring it into compliance, including dealing with the unlicensed vehicles, the paving, and a timeline to address these concerns. And so with that, what we would like to request tonight is that this be referred back to the City Planning Commission for consideration of a revised conditional use permit that would go through and address the items with the applicant and put together a timeline of next spring in terms of compliance requirements.
Mr. Cooper, I was wondering, does this applicant, have any, valid reason for not having it cleaned up and so forth? The rules are pretty clear. I was wondering what the excuse was. Or...
I think when we talked to him, he didn't totally understand what the requirements were originally, and that his business plan has changed since it was originally approved, that he's now wanting to get into the repossessed vehicles and fix them up and then sell them. And so it's just a kind of a difference of the business plan since the original conditional use was approved for used car sales.
Go ahead, Colonel.
Yes, Mike, in our notes here, it has down he is not selling used cars. But you mentioned that he's doing repos and wants to sell them.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of used cars?
Yes, but it's currently not, under the current conditional use, since they're brought on site and they're unlicensed and inoperable for a period of time, then technically he's in violation of the conditional use. So if we take it back to the Planning Commission, we can revise the conditional use to allow that to continue, is what we're trying to accomplish. So we're trying to work with him so that he would be allowed to continue with his business in the future.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to refer item number 12 back to the Planning Commission.
Okay, that's a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
Second,
Let's second that motion. Further comments on that motion to refer back to the Planning Commission? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to refer back to the Planning Commission, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 12 has been referred back to the Planning Commission. 7-1, 1 excused. 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 13.
Deferred action, rescind 2008 retail wine license issued to Paramount Studio, Inc., Paramount Studio, 307 South Phillips Avenue. Number 14, deferred action, rescind 2008-09 retail malt beverage license issued to Paramount Studio, Inc., Paramount Studio, 307 South Phillips Avenue. 15, new 2008-09 package malt beverage license for Grubco, Inc., Shop and Cart East to be operated at 4301 East 12th Street. Number 16, new 2008-09 package malt beverage license for Grubco, Inc., Shop and Cart Northeast to be operated at 2701 East 6th Street. 17, transfer of the 2008 retail liquor license from JCP Enterprises, Inc., Joey Seafood and Grill, 2209 West 57th Street, to K&P Enterprises, Inc., the Fireside Casino, to be operated at 3221 South Carolina Avenue, including Sunday sales and video lottery terminals, effective 12/22/08, with the conditional use permit being approved in 1994. Number 18, rescind 2008-09 retail malt beverage license issued to K&P Enterprises, Inc., the Fireside Casino, operated at 3221 South Carolina Avenue, effective 12/22/08. 19, new 2008-09 retail malt beverage license for JCP Inc., Joey's Seafood and Grill, to be operated at 2209 West 57th Street, effective 12/22/08, with a conditional use permit being approved on 12/6/06. 20, new 2008 retail wine license for JCP Inc., Joey's Seafood and Grill, to be operated at 2209 West 57th Street, effective 12/22/08, with the conditional use permit being approved on 12/6/06. 21, transfer of a 2008 retail liquor license from Granite City Food and Brewery Limited, Granite City Food and Brewery, 2620 South Louise Avenue, to Granite City Restaurant Operations, Inc., Granite City Food and Brewery, to be operated at 2620 South Louise Avenue, including Sunday sales, with the final development plan being approved on March of 2000. 22, transfer of a 2008-09 packaged malt beverage license from Granite City Food and Brewery Limited, Granite City Food and Brewery, 2620 South Louise Avenue, to Granite City Restaurant Operations, Inc., Granite City Food and Brewery, to be operated at 2620 South Louise Avenue, with the final development plan being approved on March of 2000. 23, transfer of a 2008-09 retail malt beverage license from the Grand China Star, Inc., the Grand China Star, 1721 West 41st Street, to the new China Star, Inc., China Star, to be operated at 1721 West 41st Street, with the conditional use permit being approved in 1998. 24, transfer of a 2008 retail wine license from the Grand China Star, Inc., the Grand China Star, 1721 West 41st Street, to the new China Star, Inc., China Star, to be operated at 1721 West 41st Street, with the conditional use permit being approved in 1998. 25, special one-day liquor license for Hy-Vee, Inc., all occasions by Hy-Vee, to be operated at the Delbridge Museum of Natural History, 805 South Kiwanis Avenue, on December 6, 2008, for a holiday party. Number 26, special one-day liquor license for Catering America, Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at the Delbridge Museum of Natural History, 805 South Kiwanis Avenue, on December 13, 2008, for a holiday party. 27, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for the Sioux Empire chapter of the American Red Cross, to be operated at Vern ID Motor Cars and Mercedes-Benz, 1500 South Minnesota Avenue, for the Red Cross Holiday Gala, to be held on December 6, 2008. Number 28, special one-day wine license for Habitat for Humanity of Greater Sioux Falls, to be operated at the Trail Ridge Retirement Community, 3408 West Ralph Rogers Road, on December 6, 2008, for a Habitat fundraiser. 29, various retail liquor, packaged liquor and retail wine license renewals for 2009, to be operated at various locations in the city of Sioux Falls, identified as Exhibit B.
Thank you, Jamie. Lori Hugstead with the City Attorney's Office, and I thought I would just, since there's so many tonight on this list, that we would just group these together. Items 13 and 14 are deferred action on the Minerva's moving into Paramount Studios. So any questions on 13 or 14? Okay. And items 15 and 16 are both for new packaged malt beverage licenses for a couple of the shopping cart stores. All right. 17 through 20 are grouped together. We have transferring a retail liquor license from Joey's Seafood to the Fireside Casino. And then the other items correspond with that. We're rescinding the beer for the Fireside Casino. And then John Park with Joey's Seafood is applying for new beer and new wine for his business. Okay. Items 21 and 22 are just restructuring of the corporation for Granite City. 23 and 24 are ownership transfers for the China Star. 25 through 28 are special one-day licenses. And then we have 29, which is renewals. So if there's no questions on the others, we'll just jump into the renewals then.
Could we do this first? Could we take and take, if there's no questions, on 13 through 28, could we vote on that and then make a motion to do that? And then
I was going to make a motion to separate items 13 through 28 from 29 and vote on 13 through 28 separately.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay, that's your motion. Is there a second?
Second, Benning.
Bennigan seconded. So the motion is to approve items 13 through 28, or 28 to 28. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion to approve items 13 through 28, will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted to be 7 yes, 1 excused. Items 13 through 28 have been approved. We're at 29 now.
Okay.
It'd be noted that Councilmember Costello will be excused from item number 29.
All right, item 29 is Exhibit B renewals for retail liquor, packaged liquor, and retail wine. This is the largest group, and we will have one more group in 2 weeks, which will be our Exhibit C. A few items to note on Exhibit B. We have some stipulations on a number of these, and I'll just read those stipulations. For retail liquor, MJ Ventures, Inc. for the library at 5108 South Marion Road. This would be pending final inspections per Fire, Health, and Building Services. Retail liquor for Outback Midwest 2 LP, which is the Outback Steakhouse at 2411 South Carolyn, pending corrections per Fire. Partners 2 Limited Partnership for TGI Fridays Restaurant at 4200 West Empire Place. As you're aware, this business is currently closed, and if by chance they would reopen, that would be pending final inspections prior to reopening. Also under retail liquor, Timber Lodge Steakhouse Acquisitions, Inc. for the Timber Lodge Steakhouse, 3509 West 41st Street, pending corrections per Fire, as well as VFW Servicemen's Club for the VFW, 3601 South Minnesota Avenue, pending corrections, again per Fire. And we go on to the packaged liquor list, and we have Hy-Vee Food Stores for Hy-Vee Food Store number 2 at 4101 South Louise, pending final inspection per Fire. And we'll come back to these packaged liquor in just a minute. I have one more under the retail wine list, and this is for Royal Financial LLC for the Winners Circle Casino. This will be located at the northwest corner of Madison and Marion, and this would be pending final inspections per Fire and Building Services. Any questions on the pending? Okay. And then we have on this list 3 of the packaged liquor stores that were caught in one of our stings that was conducted in this past year. There were a number involved in the stings, but the majority are beer. So for the liquor, we just have 3. We have Laverne Supermarket, Inc. for Sunshine Foods, number 3 at 2700 West 10th Street. We also have Sid's Crown Liquor, LLC for Sid's Crown Liquor Store at 330 South 1st Avenue. And then we have Wang Enterprise, Inc. for King's Mart at 5512 West 41st Street. And just a note on King's Mart, they are selling the business, and that sale will take place in January. I do have representatives here from all 3 businesses, Sunshine, Sid's, as well as King's Mart, if you have questions for them.
Yes, I would be interested in hearing from all 3 of them and
Okay.
Why did it happen? Why did the illegal sale happen, and what has been done with that about the situation? Training,
Okay.
employer gone, or whatever.
Okay, well, we'll start with the first one then, Sunshine Foods, number 3, 2700 West 10th. And Todd is here for this item.
Todd Schumann from Sunshine Food Stores. I've ran a store since 2000, and we've never failed one. That you can fail one ever. But since that's happened, we have put these at every register in front of every scanner. It said red means no. All of our employees go through a training procedure 6 times a year to make sure that they know all our current liquor and tobacco laws. Every employee that's over 21. Obviously, nobody in our store that's under 20 can scan liquor. And then under our new management plan after this happened, we are only allowing supervisors and specially trained personnel to scan liquor at any time. And also we'll continue in the training, and we've added more staff during the peak hours so these supervisors are freed up just to scan alcoholic beverages.
Thank you for that information. I think that really sounds like a serious effort on your part. I was just curious, is that employee still with you?
They were terminated immediately.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here this evening.
Yeah, thanks for hearing me.
All right, and then for Sid's Crown Liquor, we have Paul Damien, and he is represented by Vince Jones.
Good evening. Vince Jones with Woods, Fuller, Schultz & Smith, BC, and I represent Sid's Crown Liquor, LLC. Paul Damien is here with me tonight. Paul is the manager of Sid's Crown Liquor LLC and has been for approximately the last 4 years. He is Sid Epstein's son-in-law. Regarding what happened on Sid's recent violation, I can't tell you why that person made the sale, but I can tell you that they were terminated. In fact, if you look at your exhibit, there are 3 violations indicated on there, and of those 3 people that made those sales, 2 of them are no longer with Sid's, and 1 has since then completed his application and coursework to become a certified TAM instructor. TAM stands for Techniques of Alcohol Management. So he now instructs and certifies the new employees of Sid's and recertifies the long-term employees that continue at the store. Since this last violation, Sid's terminated the employee. Sid's requires employees to sign an agreement acknowledging that if they make an illegal sale, they could lose their job. This person did lose their job. Sid's management is constantly trying to think of ways to assist its employees in screening out these underage purchasers and to help them develop habits to prevent these incidents. Some of the things that they do, similar to the previous speaker, we have postings throughout the store, no red ID sales, publications that indicate the date of birth. You must be born on or before this date in order to purchase. Since this last violation, we had Officer Schmidt come and put on a presentation to the employees to educate them and help them develop habits to prevent these incidents from happening. Going forward, Sid's is taking a carrot and stick approach to these types of sales. The carrot is that it's a good job. You get to keep your job if you follow the law. Sid's provides bonuses for the employees who, every quarter, the employees get a bonus if there are no illegal sales. So that should be guaranteed income. It should be. Paul and Sid take this very seriously, and the stick is, if you can't abide by the law, if you make one of these illegal sales, you're going to be gone. So Paul or I will answer any other questions you might have.
Thank you very much. That sounds like a very good plan.
Thanks. Bob?
That is a question for Lori. This sounds real familiar to me. Did we go through this exact same thing last year, or is this a carryover from the thing we did talked about last year?
We actually did discuss this one last year as well as the year before.
Okay, but this is the one that we're talking about happened last year then?
Happened in this current, between the renewal last year and the renewal this year, so this past year.
So he had one last year and he had one this year?
Right.
And then there was one before that, as I recall it?
Prior to that, right.
2
And
years
then-
before that, if I remember.
Right, there was one in '98, one in 2001, 2 in 2003, one in '06, '07, and '08.
Is that a record?
Well, no.
Okay.
There's some of the beer establishments that have had many more than that. And I started keeping track in '97, so. Okay, and then we have one more for the King's Mart, and that would be Doc Wang. There's Doc.
Hello. I came from King's Mart. I owned the business for last 10 years. I believe it was my first one I can say. So we try hard, and then even though my employee we trained so hard, and then he checked the ID, and then look at the ID, still he thinks he's over 21, and then still selling. What can I say? Even he didn't check the ID, I can something punishment going on, but he checked the ID, and then still selling. So what is that? So my company rule is. If you do that, you go right away. So he's not longer any my employee, and then we keep it, try to clean as often as we could. So we try to cooperate with minors, drinking the, alcohols.
Thank you for being here this evening. Have you considered instituting any new or enhanced training changes to your program?
Yes, ma'am. We have 10 instructors in my employee too. So he's going to train every 4 months, 5 months. So every new employee and then existing employee, we're going to have a temp training soon.
No questions? Thank you very much.
As I mentioned, Doc is selling this particular store, but he does have another store on North Cliff, so that would still be beneficial for him. I also have Lieutenant Steve Haney here if you have questions on the police department and of how the stings are conducted or anything along those lines. Otherwise, that would be the three.
Go ahead.
Could I have the lieutenant come forward that conducted the sting operations?
Certainly.
Good evening.
Good evening, Lieutenant. Thanks for being here. Last year, I think at this time, the person who ran the sting brought I got to describe it as a child along with us, and she sat out there in the audience. I noticed her, and I was shocked. Was the same plant used this year?
I have photos of the 3 that were used. We use different ones every month now.
Could we see those photos,
Yes, you
please?
could. First one we have up there is the individual that we use for SIDS. 18-year-old female here in town. Second one is the one for Sunshine, again, an 18-year-old Sioux Falls female. Third one was an 18-year-old male that was used for King's Mark.
Thank you.
Further questions of Lori? Council discussion, or? Go ahead, Joe.
Could you remind me what the penalty is? Maybe, Lori, I don't know if you know, but if they have 3 convictions, is there a stiffer penalty for, obviously, the third conviction?
Yes, definitely. If they've had a third or subsequent violation within 24 months, then the state will suspend the license. And they determine how long the suspension will be. Generally, it's 2 weeks. Otherwise, for a first and second violation within 24 months, the only time they suspend it is if the licensee himself or herself makes the illegal sale. Otherwise, they do wait until the third sale before suspending. And we have had licenses suspended in the past.
When will these pending convictions come up for hearings?
That I don't know. It just takes time to get through the system.
Desires of the council, item 29. Kind of a motion of some sort here, or we can have further discussion.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 29, but I would like to say that I believe the City Council feels very strongly about underage alcohol sales, and extremely strongly we feel about that topic.
Motion to approve item 29, is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve item 29? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
No.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted, 5 yes, 1 no, and 2 excused. Item 29 has been approved. Item 30.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by repealing the regulation of limousine rates.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
we've talked about this in first reading. The intent of this is to take the city out of setting the prices for limos. We have 4 competing businesses in town, so let the market set the price. The difference between setting the price for limos and taxis is that limousines are not soliciting traffic on street corners or the airports. You make contracts with them. You have an opportunity to understand what their rates are before ever setting foot in the vehicle. So this very simply would take that out of it. The current rates that are set by the city are from 1992, so they're obviously very outdated. And this still keeps the city permitting the vehicles and permitting the drivers for the safety of riders.
Questions? Go ahead.
Yes. I was just wondering, Vernon, you mentioned about permitting the drivers. Do they have to have a city license, these drivers, or?
They do. They have to have a, I believe it's called a vehicle for hire, Lori, is that correct? It's called a vehicle for hire, like permit that the city issues. So, and that's more for protection of the riders than anything.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on that? Okay, excuse me.
Yeah, I guess I have a question. Probably Lori can answer this one. The little sticker they put on the car, the taxi and limousine, how much does that cost them?
Well, it's $50 for the first vehicle and $25 for each additional.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 30? Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve, Brown.
Brown moves. Is there a second?
I second the motion. Knutson.
Knutson seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve item 30? I see none, so all in favor of that motion to approve item 30, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 30 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 31.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, providing supplemental appropriations, Parks and Recreation, 8480.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Don Kearney with Parks and Recreation. Each year, we budget for the use of special project funds, which are made up of various donations for a variety of different purposes. This year, we received a significant unanticipated contribution from HSBC for trees at the Arboretum and various city parks. This supplemental appropriation would give us the budget authority to use those funds for their intended purpose. So I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Questions are down to item number 31. Others that wish to address the council on item number 31? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
Litz moves. Is there a second?
Second, Benninga.
Bennigan seconds. Further comments on that motion? Go ahead, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering if there's anybody here from HSBC that we could acknowledge?
Don't see anyone.
Thank you.
Well, I think I was really thinking along the same lines as Councilor Benega. I would just like to say that we're very appreciative of such donations and encourage other wonderful companies in our community to consider such nice gifts.
Further comments? Thank you. Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 31? Yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 31 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 32 has been deferred. We're at item 33.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2008-1021 to Chapter 1545070, Plan Development Districts at north side of West 85th Street, west of Southwestern Avenue, to revise sub-area boundaries and allowing changes in land use as reflected on in the revised sub-area regulations and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This amendment consists of about 8 acres of land. The petitioner is Clayton Jameson and Site 2 Incorporated. In this case, the amendment is to change lots 8 and 10, which are being developed along a street called Kenton Lane, from multifamily to office.
Questions of Mike on item number 33?
And this is being done in conjunction with meetings that the applicant has had with the neighborhood.
It'll be noted that Councilmember Jameson is excused from the vote on item 33. Other questions of Mike? Others wish to address council on item 33? Is there a motion to approve?
I so move Knutson.
Knutson moves. Second?
Second, Benninger.
Bennigan seconds. Further comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 33 has been approved, 6 yes, 2 excused. Item 34.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at southeast corner of East 85th Street and South Minnesota Avenue from the AG Agricultural District to the C4 Planned Commercial District, petition number 2008-0903, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property consists of approximately 16 acres of land, and the petitioners are Steve Van Buskirk and Dr. Al Ackerson. We will also be considering the subdivision plan for this property tonight as item 47. This zoning will allow the property to be developed for future commercial uses. And one of the proposed tenants of this is going to be Sioux Sports. We're working with them to relocate their business to allow the future extension of 49th Street east of Western Avenue.
Questions of Mike on item number 34? Others that wish to address the council on item 34? Is there a motion to approve?
So move, Benninger.
Bennigan moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds. Further comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 34 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 35.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property south side of Interstate 90 and west of North Cliff Avenue from unzoned to the I-1 Light Industrial District, petition number 2008-1004, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is located on the south side of Interstate 90, south of Catfish Bay Lake. It's property that's about 2/10 of an acre that at one time was proposed to be used for right-of-way. And the applicant is Brett Songstad with Courtesy Investments. The intention of this property is to develop it for a off-premise sign location.
Yes, Mike, I guess I have a question here about why we're zoning it light industrial. I mean, we have a lot of billboards in town. We don't have those light industrial. So why is this light industrial for a billboard?
The billboards are allowed in commercial and industrial zoning districts, and the balance of the property around this is currently zoned industrial.
Okay.
So just to be consistent with what's around it.
Okay.
Further questions of Mike on item 35? Others? Okay, Ben.
Mike, was there a golf driving range out right next to this?
Yeah, there still is.
Still is? Very good. Thank you.
To the west.
Further questions? Others who wish to address the council on item 35? Not, is there a motion to approve?
I so move Knutson.
Knutson moves, is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconds. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 35, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 35 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 36.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 2900 North 4th Avenue from RA1 Residential District to the I-1 Light Industrial District, petition number 2008-1006, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is approximately 3 acres in size. The owner and petitioner is Sioux Falls Development Foundation. This property at one time was zoned industrial, and then it was changed to multifamily to allow for the possible use by the Lutheran Social Services with their campus development. Lutheran Social Services has determined that they do not need this property, and so we're now asking to change it back to the light industrial for future redevelopment.
Questions of Mike on item 36? Others that wish to address the council on item 36? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Benninga.
Benninga moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello? Yes. Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 36 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 37.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at West 18th Street and South Marion Road from the RA1 Residential District to the Willow Creek Plan Development District, petition number 2008-1011, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is being developed by Willow Creek Townhomes Incorporated. It's approximately 6 acres in size, and the property is currently being developed into 98 townhome units. The purpose of this rezoning request is to allow the developer to configure the site with garages and parking that will maximize the use of the property and provides for a change from our normal setback requirements. Because of the unique character of this property and the type of development, the Planning Commission has recommended approval of this zoning change, and it's also consistent with another project that they've developed along West 41st Street.
Questions of Mike on item number 37? Others that wish to address the council on item number 37? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
Litz moves. Is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jamison seconds. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 37, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 37 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Let's go to item 38.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at Quarry Avenue between Rober Drive and Dyke Avenue from the Granite Valley Plan Development District to the Light Industrial District, petition number 2008-1016, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is about a 5-acre tract of land. The petitioner is Don Dunham, who has been developing this area called Granite Valley on North Cliff Avenue. This particular parcel of land was originally approved for commercial development. The request is to change it to light industrial for a truck service and repair and parts sales operation.
Questions of Mike on item number 38? Others who wish to address the council on item number 38? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Costello.
Costello moves. Is there a second?
Second, Benninga.
Benninga seconds. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 38? Yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison? Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 38 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 39.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at northwest corner of East 69th Street and southeastern Avenue from the RA1 Residential District to the RS2 Residential District and the C4 Planned Commercial District to the Emerald Valley Plan Development District, petition number 2008-1022, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property consists of approximately 76 acres of land. The applicant and owner is Don Dunham. The City Council previously approved a zoning plan for this property. Now Mr. Dunham has acquired the land and has been working with staff on a revised street layout so that we are now asking to change some of the zoning boundaries. And in this case, the petition will provide for approximately 36 acres of lower density residential, 2 acres for office, 8 acres for commercial, 25 acres for multifamily residential, and the balance will be drainage, open space, and street right-of-way. The net effect of this is to reduce the acres of commercial and to increase the acres of residential.
Questions of Mike on item number 39? Others that wish to address the council on item number 39? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Benninger.
Benninger moves. Is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconds. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 39, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 39 has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 40.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving amendment number 1 to the lease of city property to the University of South Dakota.
Jill Franken, Sioux Falls Health Department. This amendment is to the original lease and agreement with the University of South Dakota dated July of '07, which agreed to the construction and lease of dental office space adjacent to Falls Community Health Dental Clinic for the operation of School of Hygiene Clinic with University of South Dakota. This amendment specifies the initial costs and revises the payments of utilities and other services between Falls Community Health, Sioux Falls Health Department, City of Sioux Falls, and University of South Dakota. In paragraph 2, IT support was added as a utility or other service that will be provided to University of South Dakota Hygiene Clinic, and they will pay on an as-used basis. And then paragraph 3, rents, was revised to say that USD will pay to the city the sum of $2,933.57 per month, equal to $267,000 cost of construction and the improvements which city made to the premises, plus interest at a rate of 6% per year, amortized monthly over a period of 10 years. Paragraph 5, term also then just specified further that the term of this lease and agreement is 10 years commencing January 1 of 2008 and terminating December 31st, 2017. This clinic started in January of this year, and so they're well into their second semester and doing very well. They have both dentists and dental hygiene students operating there. It's been a tremendous benefit. It's been a great asset and addition to the building services to provide additional dental care to the underserved in our community. So it's been well regarded and well accepted, and we've enjoyed sharing building space with them.
Question to Jill on item number 40. Let's go to 41.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinance of the city by revising the order of business for council meetings.
Mayor and members of the City Council, before you is an ordinance revision that has been both through Fiscal Committee and through council leadership. It is primarily to update current customs that are done with the order of business with your council agenda. If you look at the ordinance under the mayor's proclamations, we have added recognitions and awards. Things such as greeting the Boy Scout troop and those things that happen are already part of our custom. We wanted to update the law. In addition, under the consent agenda, council departmental directives that would include some of your own internal policies that are adopted by your consensus of the council but not in an official capacity, such as your cell phone stipend policy. In addition, the notice of transfer of appropriations. And if you follow down to item 10, introduction and adoption of the ordinances, you'll see the second readings and the first readings added. That is already part of our custom, but just simply putting that in the ordinance, cleaning that up. In addition, item number 12 is something that we already do, but was brought as a request by Councilmember Kavanaugh some time ago, and that is to change when the council sets the date for the notice of street hearings for street vacations, that we do that on the regular agenda as opposed to the consent, giving notice twice to the public for those street vacations that come up before the council for a vote. And then under item number 13, the report of officers, boards, and committees, we've added the word commissions, such as your districting commission and your charter revision commission. And then finally, a standing for executive session, which is rarely used, but just to have that on the agenda so that we already have that as part of our custom. Thank you.
Questions?
Deborah, would you help me again? I'm sorry, I'm not on the fiscal committee and could have attended the meetings and haven't, but would you help me again on the vacation part? What was that about again? I got mixed up.
Yeah, there was some time ago, it probably would have been in '07 is my memory, but there were questions and folks who didn't notice when the street vacation, when the council had set the date of hearing, and that has always been done on the consent agenda, and said subsequently what we have done at the request of council is simply when you set the date for the street vacation and then when you actually have the hearing for the street vacation, those items both occur on the regular agenda, trying to make sure that we give public ample notice to those issues that come before the council.
Thank you for helping me more on that. Just a couple other thoughts that I have on. This is one I think, I'll put my glasses on so I can read better at my age, but anyway, I think that the one that, number one, under the, making it, as far as the approval of our own internal policies, I just think that's a wonderful suggestion. I think that's a very, very good suggestion. The number two, I personally don't, as far as the adding to the consent agenda, the notice of transfers that come before the council. I mean, I know in my mailbox today I grabbed this memo out that we receive often, which I always look at, but I don't, I can't remember in the 6.5 years I've been on council that there's been much of any questions about transfers. I mean, I know by charter the administration has to give us this information, but I don't see why I don't find it meaningful to add it to the consent agenda. I'm not only thinking green, I'm just thinking also as far as meaningless. So what am I missing on that, guys? I'm not going to vote to add this when we get to it because I think that's unnecessary and extraneous. So what am I missing? I mean, it's actually one of those items that I mentioned recently in Public Services Committee that I think it would be fine if we didn't even print it out for each one of us and that we had a master copy in the office and that, of course, we were emailed a copy of this. But, again, I'm not trying to be nitpicky. I'm just saying that I like to do meaningful things and I don't find this meaningful. And then my only other thought, and probably from being an English teacher too long, is as far as just the wording on that. I'm sorry I don't have the wording of the amendment, but when I looked at it over Thanksgiving vacation on the computer where it says something about council departmental directive, since we don't really have departments in the council, I'd be tempted to I'd be tempted to reword that to say something about internal, council internal policies or something that fits better. And again, that's really minor, but I just wanted to mention that while I have a chance.
If I may, on the second one, I think I took that term from Councilmember Bob Jamison. We had talked about this many years ago when I had first came on board, and actually with Jennifer Holson at the time, looking so the city council, who now have personnel, would have a mechanism, if you will, and it came up at that time was administrative directives. He's a military man, and he wanted to distinguish that from executive orders, and so I borrowed that term from him. So as you wish on that.
Sure.
I think the real conversation, it was a short conversation, but basically the bottom line is that we were just acknowledging the fact that we received these reports. That's all it really amounted to. It's not a question about pushing paper, but in fact just saying that we did get them and that we have acknowledged that we're going to get them and we're going to approve them.
Further.
And I think the other part of that was that if there were questions on any transfer, that at that time we could pull it off the consent agenda and have a discussion in the regular meeting.
Further comments on item 41. Item 42.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving 2 webcam lease agreements to be located at Sioux Falls Visitor Center Tower within Falls Park.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Don Kearney with Parks and Rec again. We currently have 3 webcams on the Falls Park Tower. One of those is our own we use for Channel 16, and then there are 2 others, one for South Dakota Public Broadcasting, and then Kello also has a camera on the tower. The current lease agreements that we have with them expire at the end of this year. The agreements before you would allow Kello and South Dakota Public Broadcasting to continue to lease space on the tower for their webcam equipment for 5 years. As a reminder to the council, any lease agreement in excess of 1 year requires council approval, and that's why we're before you. Some key points to bring out about the agreements, and I'll talk about both of them at the same time because they're very similar agreements. The city would get $150 a year, which basically